How's it going, everybody? Today was a monumental failure in Marvel Strike Force, in no small part because the events today proved to suck. Really suck. And also, the Envoy playtest videos came out, and it quickly became apparent that the later floors in the Kyln Tower are going to be heavily pay-gated, depending on how many Spider Society characters you have and what stars they're at, and then how big your Cabal is for the nodes after that, which was kind of the case in the last Kyln Tower, but not nearly as bad. So we're going to talk about that in this video. I'm also going to share with you my Kyln save squads to help you get through at least the first 40 floors very quickly, save yourself some time. And then I'm actually going to give you my first impressions of Dark Dimension 7, because I am now in there. We started the first node. It is in a VOD if you want to watch the full experience, but I'm just going to kind of touch on things as I see them. But without further ado, let's jump into it, starting with this. The store for this event dropped today. So we're talking about the Pavitra event, the Rise of the Planet, the Golden Hour, and the Web Milestone event. We're going to talk about all that. And boy, is it bad. So the store dropped, and the L4 training modules for some players is going to be the best thing in there. We have up to Gear Tier 18 mini uniques, no Gear Tier 19. We got Orange Gear, we got Teal Gear. We have no Crimson Gear, no origin pieces, no uniques, no nothing, which is kind of new. Like when they normally have new Dark Dimensions and a event store drops, there tends to be at least some origin pieces in there. People were not so happy about that. We got silver promos, gold promos, dark diamond promos, and no diamond promos. Where are just the regular diamond credits? Like, what are we doing here? It's just, ugh. We got the Nova and Black Cat Awaken ability materials. Nobody's excited about that. And then we got the character shards. There's some good characters in here, right? So let's talk about the bad characters. Captain America, Captain Carter, horrible. Spider-Man Noir. Spider-Man Noir, that's kind of the worst character to farm out of the store, because he's in the arena store, but he's also on a high value node to farm. He's on a node that has gold fragments, so you should just farm the node. I would never use arena credits on him, just farm that node, because you're double dipping it into the gold credits anyway. And then there's Carnage as well, and the Ghost Spider as well. So those are characters you wouldn't want to farm, right? Gambit shards, he's also on a node and in the arena store, not a good place to farm. Forge, War Store, so if you're short on War credits, great. Nightcrawler, Crucible Store, so if you're short on Crucible credits, great. Sunspot, he's on a node, so I wouldn't waste my my shiny coins on him. And then we got unfarmable characters. We got Gwenom, Red Goblin, and Void Knight. That sounds fantastic. They're unfarmable. Those would be the characters you want the most of, right? Well, my Discord was none too pleased with this. We have very bad reactions to this, and my Discord's not alone. Lots of Discords, lots of Twitch chats kind of set themselves on fire when seeing this, especially when you see the cost for these characters. And keep in mind this 13.5k, because there is elements to this event that make this trash. Absolute garbage trash. And we're going to discuss them right now. So there is a web milestone event, Peace and Love, recurs daily, and you need to spend 10,000 of the shiny coins daily. Put this into perspective. You get 3 resets a day. What if there is nothing in your store of value that's going to get you up to that 10k? You're going to have to reset the store using cores to get something that's worthwhile. This is the biggest fail of this event, in my opinion, because this shouldn't be a recurring thing. This should just be an 8-day thing. Instead of having it 10,000, make it 80,000, you go from there. Because, as you saw, the Sunspot cost 13.5. But what did the best characters in here cost? Well, if you're unlucky enough to get Void Knight or Red Goblin or Gwenom at 15 shards, you would want the 15 shards, but then you're going to be spending 6,500 more shiny coins than you need to for your daily event. And you need to do the daily event because it feeds into an Alliance event. Sorry, that's Dark Dimension credits footage. This feeds into the Alliance event, the Rise of the Planet, where you can see there is participation from your Alliance, which leads into, you guessed it, more shiny coins, which is then going to feed into the main milestones where you're going to get Pavitra shards. So it puts pressure on players to take part in this store that they may want absolutely nothing to do with because it doesn't have the best rewards in it. But also, players need to be diligently keeping an eye on that store every reset and trying to find something to spend 10,000 on. But they also need to get it as close to 10,000 as possible. Otherwise, they're going to have to use more cores for more energy. And if they do it, but their alliance members don't, well, then they're going to take a big hit on the Rise of the Planet milestone, and they're not going to get as far here. And then if they don't get these coins, which supplements the daily web milestone, then they're then going to suffer in the Golden Hour milestone, which is going to be where you get your Pavitra shards, as well as monthly materials. There is so much of a tangled web with this event, it's, for lack of a better word, shit. This was a monumental failure of an event, and events need to break up the monotony of the daily raids and wars and crucibles. It needs to be exciting. We need to get an influx of rewards for the effort we put in. It being this convoluted so that alliance leaders have to be on top of their players to make sure they're spending 10,000 a day. For you as a player to make sure you're spending 10,000 a day, to spend that, you're going to have to do extra cores for energy already. It's just, oh my god, it's such a nightmare. It's so stupid. The only thing that's more stupid than that is the Kyln Tower nodes. So 41 to 46, heavily pay gated, as was shown in the Envoy videos, and we get a lot of opinions. This is just my comment section. There was a lot of other comment sections that had a similar take to this, where they saw the footage, they saw how hard everything is hitting, how hard you need to hit. There was lots of footage. I think Boyalon had a great video where he tried multiple things to get through the Spider Society section with like a regular roster. And it just seems impossible. Now, we're going to see what happens when this goes live. Maybe there's room to figure something out and make it a little bit better. To actually get through the nodes without needing, like, Penny Parker, who's not even in the game yet. Won't even be in the game until Friday, but she seems to be the cheat code for the Spider Society nodes. We're going to see if the population at large could find the answer that people like myself and the other content creators... Remember, we only had like 2 days to test this. So we didn't do like extensive testing on it by any stretch of the imagination. But try and figure out whatever we couldn't, right? So we'll see if it is possible. My take on it is like 5 yellow, 5 red on the 3 new Spider Society and a Cabal. You could probably RNG your way through it. 4 yellow, 4 red. You'd be cutting it close, but it's possible. But I think the top comment here really puts things into perspective as to what most people are thinking. As a free-to-play player, I was able to clear the previous tower thanks to your videos, saving resources, and numerous resets. So he puts in the RNG work, he saved his resources, and he built up the tags that were told, right? He built up his villain biosections. So he put the time and effort and got rewarded. The Whales and Krakens got the rewards from the ranked rewards. Why not do the same now? I'm honestly gutted. And this is true, I think, for all events that get pay gated to this kind of extremity. And the fact that the Kyln Tower had 0 changes to it for the first 40 floors, except the rewards are worse? Actually? Really though? Who made that decision? An absolute failure to at least not leave the diamonds on stage 40 and just front load extra crimson gear on cells 41 to 46. Like, guys, what is the thought process there to make people use more effort to get the same thing that they got last time? It's just, it boggles my mind. It absolutely boggles my mind, because most people just look at the diamonds, right? Yes, you're getting a little bit more crimson gear. There's probably more gold overall, but it's so heavily pay gated that it just doesn't matter to people. With that said, I will be sharing my save squads for the Kyln Tower. I do have these 5 teams, or teams that I use to prep. Obviously, there's only 4 nodes to prep. The first 4 nodes are unrestricted, so kind of pick what you want. Depends on what you're trying to accomplish here. And then I have the actual teams per section, right? And just keep in mind, this is like a general guideline. Like, I put Cosmo in here, but if you didn't build up your Nowhere team and instead you built up your Infinity Watch, literally any Infinity Watch member would fit in here. Global Skill, there's a bunch of different characters there. But these are the teams that I generally am going to use. We can break it down a little bit if you guys want. Stage 1, I want to get Ghost Spider. She's got to take 2 turns, so I want to get her at least take a couple to get her ultimate close. Rogue needs 1 to get her ultimate up. Skrull needs to take 1 turn so that he's only 1 turn away from his ultimate for stage 38. Archangel gets a bunch of kills here, gives energy to Red Hulk and Morgan for their respective sections. Vol gets a bunch of kills, Thanos gives energy, Sunspot gets a couple charges up. That's good for the X-Men section. Getting Quicksilver, Doom, and Omega Red up. This is like a super luxury, so I'm probably going to lean into something more like this on my free-to-play account. We should have Pavitra at 2 stars on that account. We will have Peter, I think, at 3 stars. And our Ghost Spider is like 7 red. So it's going to be really tough. So on this section, on the Dorks account, I'll be preparing all their cooldowns for that first node and seeing if we can make a run at it with this free-to-play unlock team, which I did not get to test on the playtest server. The Infinity Watch team, I'm going to go here with Cosmo, but again, you could take any Infinity Watch member. I have a big new Avengers on both accounts because they were needed for Green Goblin. Everyone built up Black Knight. I got some War Dogs. This is an obvious selection right here. Bifrost is an obvious selection for the Asgardians nodes, but what I like to do is I use my Sylvie ultimates and specials on the first 2 nodes. I do not use a Vol ability, I do not use a Beta Ray ability, and then on that last Asgardian node, I just let loose the Dogs of Hell with this team. The Spider-Verse skill or tech, I use these guys. You just want to make sure you leave with Goblin and Doc Ock ults available. Either of these teams will work for all 3 of the global Mystic nodes. Just if you don't want to use Morgan here, you can throw Doom in, save Morgan for the Legendary section, so all of your cooldowns are up. Villain Mutant, sometimes you might have to sub out Dark Beast depending on if he died, but keeping Archangel with the Apocalypse to give energy is very important for that section. Pegasus, Darkhawk over the other 2 characters because he gives energy whenever they do a basic. Sunspot over Rogue is going to make sure you don't have to worry about cooldowns whatsoever and is going to give energy out. Then for the Legendary section, I gave the 3 options. I think the original Horsemen do it the best, the easiest. But if you don't have them in Gear Tier 18 because they were kind of older at the time Kyln first came out, they're definitely older now. The best base for the Legendary section is going to be Green Goblin and Doc Ock. You could then rotate in like your Black Cat, your Nova, maybe you have 1 Horseman done, maybe you have Fury done for whatever reason. You would rotate those characters in and you will get through the Legendary section. For the villain bio node / Undying, I don't even use Undying characters. I like using Red Goblin and Carnage for the first node. I like using Lizard, Skrull, plus a 3rd character for the second node. It doesn't have to be A-Bomb. Whatever other character you have a Gear Tier 18 that's not a Hive Mind member is great there. And on the final node, node 40, I like using Venom with Carnage and Skrull. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. And these are your cells like 41 through 46, right? If you're like the 1% of a 1% kind of player who's going to get through it, you probably already have an idea of what you're going to be trying. This team will get you through node 41. I'm going to be trying it with this team prepped, seeing if they can get through nodes 41, or if I use this one for 41, maybe this for 42, with a burn attack, and then try an RNG the way through 43. It's probably not going to happen. You're probably going to need to have Penny Parker, right? Which is what this team is kind of a stand-in for. And then, yeah, Cabal and Undying. And that's going to be it. So I will have these Save Squad import lists for you in the comment section below. Or the comment section and the description, so you can get that if you want. But for now, let's go talk about my first impressions of Dark Dimension 7. Alright, so here we are on the first node, Dark Dimension 7. It is sped up at 500% speed. I did multiple attacks. Obviously, it's what happens in Dark Dimension. If you want to see the full coverage of this, me and Scotty got into a voice call. We strategized this out. We did about 36 minutes of attacks, which is why I'm not going to make a guaranteed video on it, or a full video on it, rather. I don't like Dark Dimension. My first impression of Dark Dimension is this is the exact same thing as every other Dark Dimension. It's a wallet check to get in, and then it's just a patience check to get out. We brought in Vulture, Robbie Reyes, Black Knight, Noir, and Apocalypse. I don't regret any of those characters. Those aren't characters that I would recommend. But we spend a lot on this account. So I would need to be ready to go into the city section. So we take very particular characters, very cheap characters. Like, I would not bring Vulture. If I had access to everything, I just wouldn't bring Vulture. I would have brought like Spider Slayer instead. I would have brought Kang. But because we're going to go straight from the unrestricted to the city, which will probably then go straight into the cosmic, it just makes sense in this case for an account that spends like this to build for the nodes, right? Not to build for the nodes, sorry. To build for cheap characters that can get through the nodes is what I should say. But these characters aren't bad. The node is very simple. Like, you got to deal with the Morgan threat, the Wong threat, and then the Nova's popping off with his ultimate. So you control the Darkhold members, and you try and get through the Nowhere members, most particularly that first Nova, who's going to be ulting turn 1 all the time. And eventually it clicked. I got through it. I threw an ability block on Infinity War Thor with Apocalypse instead of using the Falcon Punch. And then we ended up getting through the first wave, I think. Is that one here? No, I think we reset it one more time. We got through the first wave, and then we bring in the second wave, which is a bunch of Ghost Riders and some Secret Defenders. And then we're going to hit that one for about 20 minutes as well. You can check it out in the VOD on YouTube. It's called Dark Dimension Starting or something like that. But yeah, it's Dark Dimension. What's my first impressions? It's Dark Dimension. You guys know what it is. This is the 7th one. This is nothing new for us. Whatever issues we had with the Apocalypse Saga, at least those nodes were built to be one-shot. These nodes are not built to be one-shot unless you bring in like the perfect team. And if you bring in the perfect team, it's super expensive. As far as we didn't bring Skrull in here, it's just because we didn't have enough bio gear. If I go on the same track as what I did for these first attacks, it's probably going to take me 4 attacks total for nodes 1, and 4 attacks, maybe 5 attacks for node 2, and then like 10 or 12 attacks for node 3. Because there's Nightcrawlers on there, I'm just going to have to wait till Apocalypse. Falcon punches one out, reset, Falcon punch the next one out. We'll probably build up some momentum at some point, and then a wave will drop in and just completely wipe me, and then it'll be, you know, reset everyone's cooldowns while Apocalypse is one-shotting one person at a time and go from there. But we're almost ready with Skrull, so I might end up just bringing Skrull in. Obviously, Skrull is such a good character for Dark Dimension, because there's 9 or 10 characters on the field at any given moment. So he's flipping so many buffs with his basic. He's hitting so many people with his special, and we have 2 villains, 2 heroes to pair with him. And his ultimate puts offense down. He's going to get so many turns. He's an amazing character. If we had the bio gear, you would see Skrull here. We just don't have the bio gear because he's so expensive. Anyway, that's my first take on Dark Dimension. I hate it, it sucks, and you just gotta do it to get the good characters. Hope you enjoyed that take. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.